Rachel Fowlkes is a force of nature.
Rachel Fowlkes was one of the strongest women that I've ever met.
First and foremost, she's a humble person.
Someone who was generous with her time.
A strong believer in relationships and community.
One of the most compassionate, caring individuals for her community.
And she was super creative. She could see outside the box of any situation, and she was a problem solver.
She gave her time to everyone, freely, fully, and made that person, when they were with Rachel, the center of attention.
I feel like she embodied at least my understanding of what I feel like Abingdon is. She's kind of that classic town person who really embodied the town spirit.
Rachel grew up in rural Mississippi in the 60s. She saw firsthand the poverty and the discrimination that was a part of her community. But she reminded lots of us many times that her parents and her church didn't accept things being the way that they were. They instilled in her a strong sense of value. They gave her the determination, and I think the insight for her to realize that you don't just take things the way that they are, that you work to find ways to make the world a better place and a more fair place for everyone.
My mom impacted me in a lot of different ways, some professionally and some personally. From a professional perspective, one of the things that I've thought about a lot in the last several years is that she retired in her role as executive director of the Higher Education Center the year that I took a CEO job in my own career. My mom was a real inspiration for me in imagining whether that was the right fit for me for the kind of role, and then what kind of leader I wanted to be. And she gave me this gift the year that I started, which I keep on my desk, which is this little scarecrow-looking figurine, which she kept on her desk or on her bookshelf when she worked. And she always thought of it as not a scarecrow that was out in the field, but really as a conductor, as the kind of leader that would be thinking about, well, I need more strings or more percussion or more brass, a little bit more of this and a little less of that, and how she thought of her role as bringing out the best in all of the different people that she was working with.
If there was a question, a problem, a scenario, Rachel was quick to come in to begin brainstorming a solution to that problem, but also wanted to be a part of the solution of that problem, be somebody that was in there to kind of to fix the problem. And even when there were times when I would say, Rachel, I don't want to do that, or no, I don't want to be involved with that, inevitably I find myself doing exactly what Rachel wanted and kind of being a part of the solution to a scenario or a problem in the way that Rachel saw it needed to be fixed. So even when you wanted to say no to Rachel, you ended up saying yes. So I would agree, she was a force of nature in a great way, in a positive way, yeah.
Rachel, I remember early on when we were asking her to consider serving in that leadership capacity as a campaign chair, just how aggressive and eager Rachel was to do the best and to raise as much as she could for our local community. She said, I'll do it if we mail every individual household in Washington County. And I thought, wow. That's a lot of houses, that's a lot of mail, that's a lot of postage. I would love to do that. How do we do that? I would say we mailed as many households that we could that year, but again, it was Rachel's belief that people needed to know, and people needed to have the invitation and the consideration to be asked if they want to participate.
I can't even imagine how many lives Rachel Fowlkes has touched. She has been such a powerful influence for good in the lives of so many. I think about her work that she's done at the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center, which is just monumental work. And we owe so much to her in our community for that. But beyond that, I think the biggest impact that Rachel made was on individual lives of people, and mine included. I consider her a mentor. She was a little bit like the big sister I never had, and she was just such a great example of not only a Christ-like, kind-hearted person, but she was so effective as an administrator, and she could just always get things done.
It's up to me and people like my sister, the people that have been impacted by her, that are the younger generation, to keep that legacy going. So what would that legacy be? I mean, first and foremost, I hope it's about education, women, female leadership. So many things get named after generals and politicians, or the male teacher. Not a lot of stuff gets named after educators, not a lot of stuff gets named after women. And so hopefully, I would like to try and make that effort to have her name kind of be a little bit more of a legacy. But then I would also say that my mom probably wouldn't want that she, believed that things change generationally, and that in 15, 25 years, we should be talking about that next group of leaders as well, right? That next group that she helped foster and bring about, we should probably be talking about them and their legacy as well.
She would be gracious. There was never a time that Rachel wasn't gracious. She would be honored. But in accepting the award, she would acknowledge the people that helped her do the things that she is being recognized for.
I would tell her to enjoy every moment of it, to take it in and to enjoy it, and to receive it as a tremendous gift of grace. A tremendous gift of grace from God, a gift of grace from this community, a gift of appreciation.
I mean, you earned this. You earned it. It's an award that is earned through a lifetime of giving. And although you probably would want it again deflected, sometimes we deserve to be honored.
Her legacy is unbelievably significant, not only in this region, but in the lives and in the hearts of all the people who know her. She was just a person who made everyone around her better.
I would tell her that she deserves it, the award, for the way that she's impacted so many people in the community, and the way that she could see people for who they were, and the opportunity that they had to find their own path and excel and be creative and be in community with others.
Rachel believed in United Way and what it stood for. When I first started with the organization more than 17 years ago, it was not in the best shape. It was struggling, and we needed people to believe in it and it to have credibility and purpose. And Rachel stood beside it in some of the most challenging times of the organization and believed in it and knew what it meant and what it meant to our region. And so I would say thank you for believing in this work and our organization. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her.